Part 1. A chance encounter. Autumn cloaked the city in warm hues, gold, crimson, and copper. The narrow streets of the old quarter smelled of damp leaves and coffee from tiny calves. It was here, amidst this quiet charm, that fate brought together two people unaware that their lives were about to change forever. Anna worked in a bookstore on the corner where time seemed to stand still. She was gentle and a bit shy, loving books about love and dreaming of her own story that would transform everything. She first noticed him the day he came into the shop searching for a gift for his sister. "Good afternoon," she said with a smile. "How can I help you?" He lifted his eyes, deep, dark, with a hint of sadness. Mykola was an architect from a distant city, visiting on a short business trip. He wasn't looking for love, but he felt this city might just give it to him. "Maybe something that can warm the heart," he replied with a faint smile. Anna showed him a few novels, and they began talking about books, music, and life. Every word built a bridge between their souls. When he stepped out of the bookstore, glancing back, Mykola saw Anna's face light up with a smile he couldn't forget. Part 2. The first days Mykola stayed in the city for another week, and every morning began with him entering the bookstore. They talked about everything: dreams, fears, what each of them was afraid of. One evening, as the streets lit up with lamplight, Mykola invited Anna for a walk. They walked old bridges holding hands, and the world around them felt warm despite the chill. "Do you believe in fate?" Anna asked softly. "I never did until I met you," Mykola replied. That night changed everything. They started building dreams together. Something new blossomed in their hearts: hope. Part 3. Obstacles, but nothing was simple. Mykola had to return to his city, to work, to the life he was trying to forget. Distance became a test. They exchanged letters late into the night, calling when sleep betrayed them. Each conversation was both joy and pain. "I'm afraid we might lose what we have," Anna confessed one day. "Then let's not lose it," Mykola whispered. Their feelings were stronger than miles, but doubts, jealousy, and uncertainty cast shadows. Part 4. The test of time. Months passed. Mykola worked on an important project. Anna opened a small cafe next to the same bookstore where it all began. They learned to live between two worlds, the real one and the dream of reunion. One evening, when Mykola came unexpectedly, Anna couldn't hold back tears. She felt everything was worth fighting for. "Are you ready to try again?" she asked. "I'm ready to live only with you," he answered. Part 5. The happy ending. A year later, they stood on the same bridge where their story began. The warm wind carried the scent of autumn around them. Were only the two of them. "Will you marry me?" Mykola said, offering a ring. Anna nodded, smiling through tears of joy. Of course. Their hearts beat in unison. This was true love, stronger than all trials. Part 6. After the wedding silence, the wedding was perfect, intimate, warm, with tears and sincere promises. But life beyond the celebration was more complicated than dreams. Anna and Mykola lived in a small apartment downtown, where walls held echoes of their hopes and fears. Mornings grew silent, evenings tense. They both felt love was not only tenderness and joy but daily work, compromises, and lost freedom. Anna, who had always dreamed of great, sincere love, now felt an invisible wall between them. Mykola buried himself in work, Sheil in her own world of ideals. "Do you not love me anymore?" she asked one evening, looking into his irritated eyes. "I do," he replied coldly, "but I have to work. I can't waste time on doubts." Those words hit Anna like a stone. She began to feel their paths slowly diverging. Part 7. Loss and searching. Months passed. The absence of shared evenings, walks, and conversations made their relationship tense. Anna realized she didn't know the man she married. Mykola felt the weight of responsibility suffocating him, his freedom slipping through his fingers. One evening, alone, Anna cried in the dark. She didn't know if it was sadness over lost love or fear of the future. "Mykola, we need to talk," she said the next morning. They sat at the kitchen table in silence that screamed about a break. "Maybe we should take a pause," he suggested, "to understand what we want." It felt like a verdict. They agreed to live apart for a while, seeking answers. Part 8. Loneliness and reassessment. Days passed in soul-consuming silence. Anna began seeing a psychologist to understand herself and her need for closeness. She immersed herself in work, writing poetry, listening to music, seeking balance between love and freedom. Mykola, meanwhile, was away on business trips, meetings, and projects. His thoughts often returned to Anna, to what they lost and might still save. One cold evening, sitting alone in an empty apartment, he wrote her a letter. Anna, I realized love is not escape, but a fight. A fight for you, for us. I'm ready to change if you give me a chance. Part 9. Rebirth. They met at the same camp where their acquaintance began. Both were different, more tired, more mature. I'm afraid to be disappointed again, Anna whispered. I'm afraid too, Mykola replied. But I want to fight. That evening they talked for hours about fears, past, and desires to be together. Without embellishments, without illusions. Their rebirth began with a simple desire to listen to each other. They decided to start over, not with fairy tales, but with reality where love requires patience and respect. Part 10. The shared path. A year passed. Anna and Mykola learned to live together differently. Not ideally in love, but real, sometimes tired, but always supportive. They traveled, discovered new horizons, laughed and cried together. Even when troubles piled up, they held hands. In the evenings by the fireplace, they recalled their journey, from a chance meeting to true love that survived storms and grew stronger. You were my challenge, Mykola said. And you were my home, Anna replied. And that was more than love. That was life. Part 11. The end, and a new beginning. Years passed like water through fingers. Anna and Mykola lived through much, joys, losses, awakenings, and disappointments. They learned to value not the ideal, but what is true, alive, sometimes fragile. One autumn evening, when the leaves had nearly fallen and the city was wrapped in cool fog, they sat on the balcony of their apartment, holding hands. Behind them was a life that taught them the most important thing, to love not because of feelings, but despite everything. You know, Anna said quietly, looking at the wrinkles by his eyes, I was afraid this love would someday disappear. I was too, Mykola replied. But it didn't. It became part of us. They looked into each other's eyes, quiet, full of understanding and gratitude. Let's just live together, she suggested. No big promises, no drama, just being near. Yes, he agreed, because that is true love, accepting life as it is and cherishing every moment. They embraced, and the world around paused for a moment, in this simple, but infinitely important moment. This was no fairy tale with fireworks and a perfect happy ending. It was the story of two people who learned to love, truly, deeply, with all the pain and joy. Sometimes the greatest beauty lies in simplicity.